and I had to pull my vehicle over because I started crying. The news interrupted ABC. Dan was on the air, I'm almost positive, and I was driving. I remember which way. I was going to a deli to get a tongue sandwich or something. I mean, that's how exact I remember. And I pulled my car over, and I started crying. I started shaking and crying. I mean, yeah, my voice is starting to go right now when I think about that. And I went right home. And I remember listening to the station. Dan did not say too much. All commercials were pulled. And very quiet, calm music. When I got in, and the edict was given to me too, nothing. Just, just be yourself. Let people know Cousin Brucie's there, and so their friend is on the radio, which is very important, Alan. Very important. Let them know that I am sitting here. If I don't say anything, it doesn't matter. As long as they know I'm here. And just play calm, relaxing music and nothing, period. And then we brought some news. And then Chuck Leonard did the same. And then about midnight, I think it went back to so-called normalcy. Yeah. Interesting. Where were you that day?
I was in 8th grade, and we had a kid who was a real troublemaker, who was always being sent down to the principal's office. And he was sent down to the principal's office that day, and he came back to the principal. Apparently, pandemonium took place in the school, and everything broke loose. And the kid who had been sent down to the principal's office comes back to our social studies class, it was social studies, and whispers something in the ear of the social studies teacher. In retrospect, obviously what he said was that this terrible tragedy had just happened. The teacher didn't believe him because the guy was always inventing stories. So he's like, oh, come on, forget it.
The sky is falling. The sky is falling.
You're in the wolf.
And then we found out, or the man who cried wolf. And then we found out that it was true. Nothing was said in school, but there was kind of a hush over the school.
How did it affect you as a person? I mean, you were 8 years old, obviously, at the time. So how did it affect? Did you understand?
Well, I was 8th grade, so I was 13, 14 years old. 22 years old in the 8th grade. No, I was 13 or 14. And I don't know how it affected me. Cumulatively, I think we were all affected by events of those years. Between that and then Bobby Kennedy and Martin Luther King and then Watergate and the things that happened in succession. So I don't know if I could single one thing out and say that affected me. But as you said earlier, a number of things happened which kind of opened my eyes politically and socially. And all these things cumulatively have kind of had an impact on it. I believe how we are as a society. I don't think the world will ever be the same.
No,
because of what happened. And because, I'll tell you something else, not just radio, but television. The fact that we saw Lee Harvey Oswald being shot by Jack Ruby live on television. Live on television. I mean, that's astounding. That had never happened before.
And Bobby Kennedy, too. You remember that? I'll never forget that. We saw that in Rosie Greer. Remember? I mean, we've been privy to things that are so horrifying that have to change us psychologically and emotionally for the rest of our lives. Isn't that amazing? Even though these are not direct personal family members, because we are there between radio and television, it's a whole different world.
But I'll tell you something. They are family members, just like Cousin Brucie is a member of the family. John Kennedy was a friend of the family, or Robert Kennedy. People who we take into our hearts are members of our family, the family of man, and so they are members of the family,
right?
Just as you are, and hopefully I am if you're on the radio every day. Well, I didn't expect things to get into this area, but it's kind of neat to sit here and talk to you about all this, because you've been so much a part of our lives, and you were there on the radio when so much of this has happened. To know what was going through your mind and how you presented it to the rest of the country is kind of interesting.
It thrills me that last phone call and calls from guys in Vietnam or Korea that are in foxholes listening to me. It thrills me, and I never get tired of hearing these stories about, hey, you got me through this, Cousin Brucie, thank you. That's what it's all about. You can't pay anybody. You know, there's not enough money in the world to pay, well, I feel me, right? But that phone call is worth more than anybody can ever offer me.
We'll be back with Cousin Brucie on WNBC.
66.
All right, let's hear your $75,000 efficiency study.
I do have one more question.
Fine.
When do you eat your vegetables?
Whenever. I'm a busy man.
You do know vegetables are an important part of a balanced diet.
Yes, the report.
And that V8 juice is a blend of vegetables?
Good. Now,
one delicious glass of V8 juice provides a serving of vegetables?
Forget the V8. Get to the report.
You are a busy man. You don't eat your vegetables, so I recommend you drink V8 juice.
What in the world possessed me to hire you?
Because I'm your brother and Mom said you had to.
All right.
Drink V8. Keep your diet straight.
Food for the show provided by the Carnegie Delicatessen, notably offered by Brittany Carnegie. Hey, Leo, listen, let me ask you. I'll talk about Leo Steiner, yeah.
Oh, I've been away for a couple days. I just found this out. I feel so badly. Now, Leo is a wonderful, Leo Steiner, who was the proprietor of the Carnegie Deli, is loved by people in our business.
He loved show business. He loved comedians, and he loved anything to do with show business.
The most giving human being. You know, I'm very involved with Variety, the children's charity. He helped us so much, and he helped a lot of charities. But anytime he needed Leo for anything,
he was
Leo
there.
Steiner was there. I feel terrible.
Every time I've had an opening night, anytime we've had, remember our first show?
Yeah, I was here that night.
You were here that night.
Sure.
Leo came up with a whole platter of stuff. I don't know if you hear when Leo showed up like at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning that night.
No, I wasn't here that night.
I just want to wish you and have a good time. and that was it, and he left. And he was a very beloved man.
I had him on the telethon last year I was talking about, the Variety telethon, and his wife came over. I didn't like the way he looked, and evidently he was operated on. He had some sort of operation, which I didn't ask. It was not my business. And he didn't look well. And his wife said, I'm a little worried about him. I want to get him home. That was my first indication. Then I saw him.
When was this?
About a year ago.
I didn't even know he had been ill.
Yeah, and then I saw him. We did a thing for Leukemia Society, did a show, and he was one of the speakers. And his wife once again said he's not, not well. And then I was in the restaurant about 2 months ago having one of these 8-foot corned beef sandwiches of his that I can just say, people order half or take somebody with you. They're impossible. And he came over to the table as he always does, and it wasn't Leo, it wasn't Leo. I feel terrible for him. Well, I hope that his family and all of his friends, I hope that we just have to think rainbows. You just have to go on.
I'll tell you something. His legacy will live on by the many people whose lives he touched, and by those wonderful sandwiches, which will always hopefully exist.
Good man. Nice man.
It's 5:40 at WNBC, and here's Jane Gennaro with the WNBC Traffic and Transit Network report.
Thanks, Alan, and here's what's happening at 5:40. Well, southbound on the Van Wyck south of Kew Gardens, there's a disabled vehicle in the right lane. Frank from Flushing was on the Van Wyck. He said it's going to be backed up from the LIE to the Kew Gardens interchange. And northbound on the Deegan, it's going to be slow from Yankee Stadium to the bridge. The northbound West Side Highway is backed up from the 130s to the bridge. Northbound on the FDR between 96 and 116th Street, slow because of a disabled vehicle in the left lane. And northbound on the BQE off the Gowanus at Atlantic Avenue, in the right lane, a disabled vehicle there. Also, westbound Cross Bronx is moving slowly between the Deegan and the George Washington Bridge. I'll have more traffic and transit in 15 minutes on 66 WNBC.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Brucey's going to play whenever anything important happened. It was Dan Ingram who was on the WNBC. That's why I tell you, afternoon drive, man. This is the thing to do. Since I've been here, nothing, right? Oh, yeah, the Getz verdict came in. I think that was... Barry Farber was here. Another radio personality, Barry Farber was here the minute the Getz verdict came in. This was... He's
a very bright guy. Let me tell you. I don't
particularly agree with him on much.
Oh, no, I was going to say that. I mean, politically, you and I are probably on the two rooms removed. But he is terrific. I just did his show, and I know what I like about Barry? He is extremely opinionated, extremely bright. But he listens to you.
And he's a real mensch, he's a very loving guy. He gives you a big hug. Every time I see him, he gives you a big hug.
I really like Barry.
Let me tell you, the 66 WNBC wants to send you on a winter ski getaway in Jackson Hole. Not Wyoming, but the hamburger joint on 86 and Tanner said, that's something Cousin Brucie would say, Yeah,
but I'd mean it.
Tanner, send a postcard with your name, address, and daytime phone number to Winter Ski Getaway, Post Office Box, WNBC. It's amazing how we were able to get a box with our own call letters on it. New York, 10185. Starting January 25th, we'll draw a card a day for 6 days. And if we choose you, you'll win a trip for 2 to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. You'll fly a round trip on American Airlines and spend 7 nights, double occupancy, at the Spring Creek Ranch in Teton Village. Is it Teton Village? Teton Village? Teton Village. Plus you receive 5 days of lift passes and 5 half days of ski lessons. Entries must be received by January 31st. Enter now for the winter ski getaway from Jackson Hole and 66 WNBC. You've done a lot of
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, you can't enter because... Well, I guess you could.
I'm not a family member. I mean, Dale thinks I do. He has all my jingles.
You work here. I mean, look, we can prove it.
Cousin Brucie.
Yeah.
Oh, the woman with the man in mind.
Woman with a
man with a woman in mind.
On WNBC.
I dare you to play this night on CBS. You've done a lot of live radio. What's the biggest faux pas or the moment that you've had on the air live that has been either the most embarrassing or the most outrageous because of the unexpected due to the live circumstances of the broadcast?
Well, the thing that comes right to my mind is I remember playing a beer commercial and reading a competitive tag to it, which right away, it's made, well, I really got in a lot of trouble for that one.
Yeah.
And then a couple times I had a fast food restaurant on it, and sometimes you just don't think, and you start talking about how bad fast food is, frozen, and then you do a McDonald's commercial, it's very embarrassing,
Yeah. No, is there any sponsor ever canceled Cousin Brucie because of something?
No, I've had to work my way out of a couple things, take some people to lunch and talk very fast. And that's where I talk very fast. I've had my share of things. I get very friendly with a lot of my clients, my sponsors. I take them very seriously, and I'm corny enough to really believe that if I recommend something, I have trust in my audience, which you see I do. I have the trust of my audience out there. And if I say buy this, I want them to know I've tried it.
Yeah.
And that I really believe in the product. So I'm very careful what I do. But I've had my moments. My favorite, though, I was in Bermuda early in my career, and I was doing the football scores, which they take very, very, soccer, and they call it football. Trimmingham beat Nottingham, and Nottingham beat Trimmingham, this type of thing. And the window was open at this little station. It was ZBM1 in Hamilton, Bermuda, ladies and gentlemen. That was Bruce Morrow on the air. And the football scores and the sports thing blew out the window. And I was a kid. I put them on top of the console, and it was very windy. And a wind came, and here I am, a kid. I was like 19, 20 years old, and I didn't know what the heck to do. I mean, today, we can talk about anything. And I was in trouble. I had a 20-minute broadcast to film. Let me tell you something. I learned how to live that day.
What did you talk about?
I have no idea. I was so scared, I didn't even listen. I was so scared.
Do you have tapes of yourself in Bermuda?
No. I did a very terrible thing, Alan. You know what I did? As my career developed, I should have enough for a museum. I threw things out. My mom and dad, who are still a very, very much part of my life, they live up in Middletown. My mom still takes care of a lot of my mail. There's still a lot of mail come in. And I started collecting mail. And do you ever smell mail in a house? It's not like a dead letter office, thousands and thousands of pieces of mail. So I shipped it all over my mother. And I never kept anything. I'm not the kind of guy I don't like to look at yesterday too much. In other words, I don't like to look at pictures.
Yeah, no old ABC tapes?
No, I have one or two. Some people just gave me a couple. Now I started collecting. I feel so bad I don't have that.
Do you have a tape of the Brief Showers episode?
Yes, I do have that. You gave it to me, matter of fact.
I gave you that, too. That was, apparently Dan Ingram was on the air. This bears recounting because this is one of the funniest moments.
Dale will be in a moment. Dale has probably the briefs. Dale probably has my underwear.
This is one of the funniest moments ever on WABC.
Yeah, that was really great. Well, first of all,
including the time I worked there.
Yeah, personally, you have to know, I have a very strange idiosyncrasy. I do not like to shop. So when I finally go shopping, I'll buy 2 dozen. If I buy a pair of pants, I'll come in with 10 pair of pants. If I buy suits, I'll buy 10 suits. And I just don't like to shop. I'll buy 20 ties, 10 shirts, and I'll buy all the same color, this type of thing. That morning, I decided I need underwear. And I went right down here to Bancroft, right over here. And I was working at, I went to Bancroft, right. And I bought 20 pair of jockey shorts, right? Briefs. Now, Dan Ingram at that time used to say, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon we're expecting some brief showers here on 77. He would say brief showers. Well, as fate would have it, I had these 20 pair of briefs in a very flimsy paper bag, very flimsy paper bag. It's a very big load. It's a load to carry, and it's bursting at the seams already. I walk into the studio, and Dan Ingram, just as fate would have it, said, there's brief showers expected tonight. Didn't see me. Well, just as he said brief showers, I took this bag jammed with jockey briefs, and I flung it up to the ceiling as hard as I could. The paper bag hit the ceiling and split right over Ingram's head, and it started raining, showering briefs. He went crazy. Now, you have that tape somewhere.
I don't happen to have it right now, but, next time we have you on, we'll play tapes. I didn't do it this time. But,
now, the greatest part to me as a professional is nobody's ever really broken Dan Ingram up. He's just a consummate radio professional, and Dan just doesn't break up. And he lost it. He was gone for, I'd say, 40-some-odd minutes. He couldn't do commercials. He lost it. He was out.
He just kept laughing for the entire hour.
He tried. Like, what's the famous tape with the guy that did the Lowell Thomas? You ever hear that tape?
No.
He tried to do his commercials. Great classic tape. And he just was wiped out. He started a commercial, and this is exactly what happened to Ingram. Right. And I don't think Ingram's ever been broken up like that before. He was covered with underwear.
Has CBS-FM ever offered Dan a shift?
I'll tell you something very frankly. I don't think Dan wants to do a regular shift. If he can get something like I do.
Maybe he did like a weekend.
I don't know. Well, there's, right now, CBS, thank goodness, the people on CBS, we have terrific people. We really do. We have some of the best professionals on the air. Dan, well, I'm sure Dan would like to do what I do. You know, I do my syndicated thing. He has a syndicated show, I believe it's still on, with Jam down this, and I do my Wednesday night show, which, you know, I'll be doing soon, and then I do my Saturday. I think if Dan can go on once a week or once a month, like I personally, I think he would like to do it. But Dan is free. He's very involved with AFTRA and Screen Actors
There's a lot
Guild.
of voiceovers.
Voiceovers like he does. You don't have to worry about Dan Ingram. Dan is doing very well. I don't think Dan... Like, I don't know if I could get back into doing it every day. I don't think I could. I'm not sure. I'm on 3 times a week now. I'm very happy with my national show. I love that show because the network is letting me do what I want. They're letting me be Brucie. I take the script and I Brucify it. In other words, you know what I do? They give me a script and I do not read it. I never read that script. I get in, and Frankie Camerato is my producer, sitting here with me now, and he and I just get back and we just wing it. It is a wing, and it sounds like it's right from home.
Well, you can't. Brucie reading a script would not be Brucie.
It doesn't work. No, you don't need me. You gotta let me be myself. But Wednesday night tonight is fun, and Saturday, of course, is my love. I don't know if I'd want to do any more than that. I really don't. I think those days are over.
WNBC.
Hi, Alan.
Hi.
First-time caller from South Hadley, Massachusetts. I'd like to talk with Cousin Brucie, if I may.
Go right ahead.
Where do you come from?
South Hadley, Massachusetts.
Is that Southampton?
Yeah, no, South Hadley, right up close to Northampton, where you had an interest in a radio station a while back. I'd like to know what happened to that. I kind of miss you up here.
All right, well, I owned the radio station up there.
And the WHMP, wasn't it?
99.3, right, FM? And I owned the WHMP, which is Northampton.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, what happened is I owned 8 radio stations, and greed set in. And what happens, as any businessman can tell you, we owned them for about 7 years. We had a very thriving company. Matter of fact, the company, I might as well be a little braggadocious, was named the 13th fastest growing company in America by Inc. magazine. And it was a matter of going public or liquidating. And I'll tell you very frankly, I was flying from my home, and I lived in New Jersey at that time. I was in the air more than I was on the ground. I started developing feathers under my armpits. You know? And I was up. I love Northampton. I love Hadley. I used to call it Hadley, right?
Yeah,
I used to call it Hadley, and Amherst and all those places. And I loved coming up there, but I never saw my family. So I started traveling. We also owned a television station down in Atlanta. So I was flying. I was never on the ground. So it was a matter of decision. And the decision was to liquidate the company, which we did, about maybe less than a year ago.
I think it was at least that long. Listen, you guys made a great point one time, just a little while ago. I was listening to it in my car on the way home from work. You were talking about on-air personalities, kind of, that fellow mentioned about how you got him through this particular time. Back in the 60s, late 50s, early 60s, that seemed to be the way it was with disc jockeys. You know, the Wolfman Jack, American Graffiti type syndrome, where that man was God, and he directed the places for them to go, and they all hung out in those places that advertised on his show. I grew up in Boston with Joe Smith and Arnie Woo Woo Ginsburg.
Right.
And they did these great adventure car hop ads, and everybody would flock out to adventure car hop, and they got to be like a social event. And these people literally sort of dictated almost to the point where you went and where you gathered. And they advertised for the surf ballroom, and sure enough, everybody went to the surf ballroom in Nantasket Beach. And you lived and died with those on-air personalities.
What about Paragon Park? Was that a big place for you?
Pardon me?
Paragon Park?
Paragon Park? Oh, yes, indeed. I grew up about 9 miles away.
Is that still there?
Spot.
Is that still there?
No, Paragon Park has gone the way of Palisades Park.
Yeah.
Condominiums.
Well, you know,
That whole Nantasket Beach area is all being built up. There's nothing down there anymore but condos.
people would call and people would listen to us, like Arnie Woo Woo Ginsburg, the guys in Boston and the guys in New York. And as I said, we were their friends. And if we said, hey, let's go down to the car hop, let's go down to the so-and-so to Coney Island or to someplace, Dorney Park or something, people would go.
Oh, absolutely.
They were having, because we were part of their family, and they were looking to have a good time. And then, as I said, about 1968, it all changed.
All right, thank you very much. And we'll have a few more minutes with Cousin Brucie.
Nice hearing from you. Isn't that great? That's a beautiful area up there, by the way. Hadley and that whole area. Oh, it's beautiful.
You miss owning radio stations? Being the boss, being in control, directing people's lives, firing people?
I still do. It's called marriage. No, I'm the worker. I'm looking with some friends to buy a couple more radio stations.
How about this one?
How about this one? Yeah. You'd have to be my employee. Oh, my
That'd work for you.
Huh?
I don't know if you'd have me.
I sure would.
We'll discuss that during this break on WNBC.
Now, Tidy Cat 3 is a hard-working cat box filler. Oh, Tidy Cat 3. When you go, It's the odorizing better. Absorbs like a real go-getter. There leaves no dust, no tracks around. Tidy Cat 3.
I'm Ed Lowe. My Tidy Cat 3 is 99% dust-free, so it's cleaner and healthier for your cat. And with my Tidy Cat 3 cat box liners, you may never have to wash your cat box again.
It's cold out there, so come in out of the storm, head for the kitchen, and cook up a can of Campbell's soup. What better way to warm up than with a bowl of Campbell's? Sip by sip, it'll take the chill out of winter. And by the time you get to the bottom of the bowl, you'll be feeling warm all over.
'Cause at the bottom of it all is good food. Campbell's.
Is that you, Donald Trump and you were friends?
No, Donald Trump, his father Fred, was is a terrific man, and so is Donald. I don't know, he's getting into does a lot of press, by the way. Boy, and his book, my God, there's more books in those stores. You can't walk in, you fall over Donald Trump books. I wish Brucie books were like that. Donald and his friend used to have coffee. They owned I lived in a building over on Ocean Parkway, and that was one of his first buildings there. And Donald was a young guy.
You lived in a Trump building?
Yeah, it was a Trump building. But I didn't know, they were just nice guys. And Donald used to come up all the time, and his father, Freddie, and they used to come up and they used to have coffee and hot chocolate, and used to just shoot the breeze. They were a lot of fun.
Did he try to rename your apartment Trump apartment or anything? Did he?
No, I think it was Brucie Trump or something. I don't know what they did.
But so do you still talk to him?
You know, I spoke to Freddie. Somebody from Fred Trump's office called me recently. Somebody from... What does Dale have?
I couldn't find the tape.
There's the shorts.
We didn't have the tape, so we had brief showers. He just threw a brief at me. It says Bah Humbug on it.
Dale just brought in some
What's really sad is that these are Dale's actual briefs. That's what really is sad about this.
Well, Dan, you know what Dan was? If Dan was here, Dale, he'd take a look, make sure they were clean before he touched it. That thing. But anyway, the Trumps used to come along, and they were, terrific. And all of a sudden, Donald, just becomes the richest, one of the most powerful men on the earth, probably in the universe. Amazing. I just hope he doesn't start wearing Darth Vader clothing. Then we're really in trouble.
WNBC.
Hi, Cousin Brucie?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Dick from calling the long distance from Rhode Island.
Hi, Dick. How are you? We're in Rhode Island.
In Providence area.
Didn't you have any listeners in New York, Brucie?
That's what's so nice about this kind of station. You reach all over the world. That's great.
I cannot believe I'm talking to Cousin Brucie.
Oh, that's right. Hey, listen, do you listen to my Cruising America show in Providence? It's on there, you know.
We do, but when I'm 42 now, but when we were 14, 15, and 16, we used to turn into W77.
Right.
WABC, and that's
I don't know where that is.
Night. We used to cruise around and listen to you. And the first time I heard the Frankie Valli jingle, it brought back such memories. 'Cause I haven't heard that jingle in so long. And of all the 60s groups, they were my favorite #1 group.
Well, I always credited them with helping to save our American music charts from the disastrous invasion of the British. They were one of the few, them and that group and the Beach Boys, maybe one or two others,
right.
But they are really great.
I think the Seasons were considered the East Coast group and the Beach Boys the West Coast group.
That's right.
It was always the Beach Boys versus the Four Seasons, and being from the East Coast, the Four Seasons had it all over the Beach Boys.
Oh, I think so. I think the sound, if you listen to all their hits, not just one or two, but they just had that consistent sound and different sound, and not only Frankie's falsetto, but just the beat. And, I still follow them around Atlantic City or wherever they're going to be. I'm usually there.
All right. They're really unique. They're a good group.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. WNBC.
Providence. That's great.
Hi.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Bruce Morrow, please.
Speaking. Who am I talking to?
Lou Mitchak.
Hello there. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from my car coming home from work.
Terry, you have a cellular phone?
Yeah.
There's a payphone in his car.
What do you do? What is your occupation?
I'm a construction superintendent.
And do you find, obviously, this little office on wheels is very helpful to your occupation, huh?
There you go. Yeah, the reason why I was calling, I was just, talking about old radio. I sent for and I still have an original Murray Decay submarine race watcher's card. I was just wondering if you think there's any value to it.
Well, sure, absolutely. Did you hear me speak about Murray before? I wrote quite a bit about him in my new book.
No, I didn't.
Well, I'm sorry you missed that. However, professionally, as I said, Murray was a very unique guy. Yes, there's absolute value in the thing. There are people, by the way, that collect radio premiums. One fellow name is Dale. And
Dale Parsons. Call Dale Parsons up.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
He's already got one.
Is there a Bruce Obelia?
When NBC brought Wolfman Jack in to knock me on my tail when I was at WABC, this station brought him in. They issued these little paperweight Bud Sarah's tombstones. They're worth about $40 or $50 today. They really are.
Somewhere in this building, there must be one of those paperweight tombstones.
I think there's a real one somewhere in this building. They're waiting.
There's a paperweight tombstone directed toward Wolfman Jack?
No, it was directed towards me. It said...
Directed toward you.
Yeah, Cousin Brucie's days are numbered. Wolfman Jack's on the prowl. And that's when they brought him in. He lasted 8 weeks against me that time.
I see.
And very talented guy, but not Not a New York guy. See, this is a very unique... The Northeast is so unique.
Well, that's why your old radio station, where I used to work as well, I think made some mistakes when they did some network talk programming. I think you got to be local. You got to talk to the local people.
Radio is the pulse of the area it comes from.
When I get my network show, I guess I'll have to change my tune. But I think it's very important.
I do a network show. Listen, and it works. You can do it as long as you sound, as long as you feel local. You cannot say the days of the blue chip network. That's over. People want to know what's happening in their backyard. At least feel that you're in your backyard, and it can be done.
Well, that's the thing about Cousin Brucie. I say talking now in the third person, even though you're sitting here, because we're talking about an entity. Cousin Brucie is so New York, has always been. You hear Cousin Brucie, you think, hey, I'm walking down Fifth Avenue, or I'm in Brooklyn, or I'm on Coney Island Avenue. You know, I mean, you think New York when they hear you.
And it's nice because I have people like listening all over the country that grew up with me, and they have that feeling, which is nice.
That's WNBC.
Yeah, can I speak to Cousin Brucie, please?
Go ahead.
Who am I talking to?
Yeah, cuz, this is Tony from Queens.
Hi, Tony.
I just want to say you bring back good memories. I remember when I was a kid riding around the car listening to you, you know, the family going to the beach, listening to you. That was when everybody just had an AM radio and you were the music, and, you know, like you said, you were a friend there, you know. And it brought back good memories, AM radio.
Well, that's very nice. Well, radio should bring back good memories.
Remember AM radio? Remember that?
No, I'm saying, you know, before we went into all this talk radio, we used to have music, you know, on it, and it used to be feel-good music like Cousin does on CBS now.
All right, thank you very much.
That's the main thing. See, the word feel-good music, that's very important. Dan, take that as a lesson. Feel-good music, it's very important.
Well, he's a feel-good kind of guy, aren't you, Dan?
Sure is. Sure is.
And many people he's worked with have said
do we have to go to news or anything?
Yes, we do. And
I'm going to say goodbye. I have to go into a show.
I want to thank you very much for being here. I don't want you to leave, but I know you have to go across the street and to another radio station. I don't know which one it is.
CBS.
Prepare
to another alphabet, right?
Yeah. Brucie, it's always good to see you. You can see Brucie in Dirty Dancing. You can see him on Shake, Rattle, and Roll PBS, Classic Rock and Roll Reunion on Showtime Cable, or you can buy his book, which will soon be a major motion picture. We can listen to him on the radio. Thank you very much. Nice to see you again.
Always beautiful to be here. Oh, Alan, that wasn't necessary.
6 o'clock. Man can actually have such lips, he can actually kiss. The lips go out, extend, and kiss himself on the cheek. It's unbelievable. 6 o'clock at WNBC.
This is News on the Hour from 66 WNBC, New York.
I'm Doug O'Brien. Here's what's happening at 6:01. The Newark City Council has passed what's believed to be the first ordinance in the nation requiring AIDS tests for convicted prostitutes as well as their pimps and customers. City Council President Henry Martinez says the ordinance is intended to stop prostitution, to discourage suburban residents from seeking prostitutes in the city, and to check the spread of AIDS. Mayor Sharp James says he will not sign it. Robert Chambers' lawyer says the guardian angels are harassing his client. He got the judge in the case to put on some extra security to make sure Chambers could get to court without incident. The Suffolk medical examiner says a muscle relaxant did kill one of the people who died at Good Samaritan Hospital, and the Suffolk DA says Robert Angelo administered the drug and he wants a murder indictment. A spokesman for Western Pennsylvania Water Company says the crisis is easing for residents of the Pittsburgh area as an 80-mile-long oil slick moves farther down the Ohio River. But the nightmare is just starting for residents of Ohio and West Virginia, where water intake valves have been closed to prevent contamination. The slick started on Saturday with an oil spill in the Monongahela River. The State Department defending the U.S. vote in the UN Security Council condemning Israel's deportation of 9 Palestinians. Spokesman Charles Redmond calls the first U.S. vote against Israel since 1982 a continuation of U.S. policy. President Reagan's new $1 trillion with a T dollar budget due out next month. The fiscal 1989 budget blueprint includes $16 billion in new taxes and a $7.5 billion increase in defense spending. Reagan administration sources say the United States plans to reduce its naval force in the Persian Gulf region by at least 4 warships. The sources say the reduction will be made by not replacing the battleship Iowa and the helicopter carrier Okinawa when their tour expires next month. Defense Secretary Carlucci is visiting U.S. forces in the Gulf and says no final decision has been made. WNBC News Time, 6:02.
Color Disc presents the Supreme Lady, Diana Ross. The Supreme Lady, 107 minutes of pure Diana with the Supreme. On her own. 4 pops. Temptation.
Interesting way to indicate that the wind chill, or what the wind chill is. The column is titled FLSKE.
What does that mean?
Feels like.
All right, so I've never understood how they figured out this wind chill factor business.
There is a chart. I am a mathematical ignoramus. I will not attempt to explain it.
Is there anybody we could talk to who could figure out what the... Is there somebody maybe from the Weather Bureau?
Probably.
Do we have a weather service that we use?
Let's call Al
Roker.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you could.
Well,
he did the chart on News 4 the night before last.
He's probably doing the 6 o'clock right now, isn't he?
I think he just finished.
It's 6:08. I mean, he's probably doing the 6 o'clock.
He's got the forecast to do at the bottom.
Let's call Roker up and see if he can explain this wind chill business.
Okay. If not, call the National Weather Service. They've got a forecaster on now who can explain it for you.
Okay. Because, I mean, I'm sure people are... I don't know what it means.
Well, frankly, in my case, anything below 20 feels the same. Awful.
I mean, it was 8 degrees when I came to work this morning, and I didn't feel that bad.
Well, maybe you were standing in the sun with no wind.
But I don't go out much. I'm out for 3 minutes, and then I'm in the subway, and then I go right into the building.
Yeah.
I don't have to go outside to come to work, and that's one of the reasons I took this job. And I tried to find a station where I didn't have to go out. So,
Are we leading up to something here?
No.
I was looking for the line.
The problem with the show is we're leading nowhere. We're leading nowhere. We've got no point.
Fine.
All right. Thank you, Doug.
Okay.
Always nice to talk to you. All right, let's, why don't we do, here's what we'll do, and we'll give we have these new sweatshirts, which I wore to bed last night. They feel great. I wore a WNBC sweatshirt to bed last night. Let's do, how cold is it? And if you get a rim shot...
Get out.
All right. The caller tells us, how cold is it? Hey, Al?
Hi, Alan. How are you?
How you doing? Al Roker, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, he was hard to get. We're just talking about this wind chill business, and we just said on WNBC radio here that it's a wind chill of 4 below.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have the same information.
Pretty much. If it was 2 below, we'd be in Mississippi.
Yeah. What is...
2 below.
2 below...
Sorry.
Al?
I'll never do that again. I'm sorry.
Do we have the Roker, the Roker
rim shot?
The Roker sonogram? What sonogram? A Vox thing. We don't have the Roker thing?
No.
All right.
A Vox thing.
You know, the Sonovox.
Oh, God.
Yeah. All right, so it was 2 below would be Mississippi.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
All right, so listen, we have a rim shot ready, Al. Whenever you're ready to go ahead. How do you figure out the wind chill factor?
Well, I don't have the exact formula here in front of me, but the wind chill, the definition of wind chill is the effect on exposed flesh on your body as the wind blows across it. What makes you feel cold is actually the evaporation of moisture on your skin surface. Like if you just for fun, right now, everybody takes their hand and puts it in front of their mouth and just blows across it, you feel a little cooler. Well, that is the wind chill. So that when people talk about, the wind chill and, do I have to worry about my car and the antifreeze, because they're talking about wind chills of 40 to 50 below. Wind chill is only affects living things.
I hope so.
Yeah. So that would basically perhaps leave out the president. But anyway. Thank you. Just kidding.
See, they don't let you do this on News 4 New York, do they?
No, they don't. They really don't.
Right.
There's obviously a reason for
I think there's a
that.
reason why, yes. But, okay, so you blow in your hand, you feel the wind feels cooler.
Yeah, and that's wind chill. Basically a cooling effect on, your skin surface.
So when I say with the wind chill factor, that has to do with how windy it is that day.
Well, it's a combination of the actual wind and how much of a cooling effect it would have on exposed flesh.
At what point do you get frostbite?
Well, frostbite can occur, like last night we had wind chills of, 20 to 30 below.
Yeah.
Frostbite can occur within 5 minutes at those kind of conditions. So it's very important that, if you got to go out, you cover up as much as possible. You're dressing we've heard these all before, but it bears repeating. You dress in the lightweight, loose-fitting layers. Very important, wear a hat or a hood. And we can't stress that enough, and that you don't realize that depending on how much hair you have on your head, you can lose as much as 70-80% of your body heat.
So you must be cold, huh?
I always wear a hat. And mittens are better than gloves.
Are they?
Yeah, because with gloves, you're basically, because, each finger is individually triggered, whereas with a mitten, the entire 4 fingers, the 4 digits.
Al, you're telling me you wear mittens? Can you imagine Al Roker in mittens?
I did. I saw him in the afternoon. He was typing with them. It's amazing. Which explains a lot why whenever I type, it looks as bad as it does. But no. Thank you. Just flew in from Chicago. And boy, am I arms tired. Oh, thank you. And do not, you always people talk about, hey, well, have a little pop before I go out there, and that'll help keep you warm. Alcohol is the worst thing for you to take during this kind of weather, because what the alcohol does is bring your blood much closer to your skin's surface, and therefore cools you off much faster. So, drink warm fluids, but don't, take alcoholic beverages before you go out.
I don't think Billy Boggs is looking back to her, looking fondly to her home on 62nd and First now, huh? She's probably not thinking of going.
So bad.
Because the real Bill Boggs is there now.
That's right. In fact, I think it's just Phil Bombs in Philly, so he's there.
Yeah, that's terrible, Al, to talk about your colleagues like that in the broadcasting business.
Thank you.
But, so there's a chart, basically. Can the average person figure out what the wind chill factor is? Or
as a matter of fact, if you call the National Weather Service, they'll send you out one of these charts. As a matter of fact, WNBC TV will be offering very shortly a wind chill chart along with a winter survival tip sheet. So
that's beautiful.
As soon as we have those printed up, which we should within a week.
You're not going to NBC printing, are you?
No, we're going to it outside.
Oh, good, okay. If I cut your back everything, take off one of the two feathers. I want to tell you.
Thank you. But, thank you. What time are you going to be on TV? Well, I'm going to be on in about 16 minutes.
Oh, okay. You have to go prepare now, huh?
Oh, well, in fact, I'm sitting in the weather condo right now.
The weather condo?
That's what we call it, the weather condo. It's very nice. A nice view of Robert C. Wright's office, as a matter of fact.
You can see Robert C. Wright's office from where you sit?
In fact, this is a true story.
He's the president of NBC. Yeah.
Is Johnny Carson's old bathroom.
Is that right?
Yeah, well, it's been remodeled since then.
Did it leave anything behind for you?
Well, yeah, but we were trying to scrape it up. No, seriously.
Hey, but I want to tell you.
When Johnny Carson was here in New York, his suite of offices are near where our newsroom is, and the weather condo happens to be what Johnny Carson's bathroom.
And you can see Robert Wright coming. Is Robert Wright in the office now?
Hold on. Can you hold on a second?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hold on.
When's Bob going to do the show again? He owes us another visit.
Lights are on, but I can't see...
But no one's home. I think we knew that about him all along, didn't we?
That was Alan Colmes.
No, Bob and I are very close. We're like... Yeah. So, well, Al, it's always good to talk to you. Sandy Becker, when he was here, asked for a photo.
In fact, I found his address finally, and I'm sending out Sandy's picture. Or no, my picture.
Yes, he's a big fan of yours. He wanted an autographed picture.
Which is really a thrill, because, Lord knows how much I drove my parents crazy. Hey, Mom, Giba! Get out of here. They just over nuts.
I feel, Al, you need this radio thing, because they don't let you loose like this on television.
I love radio. I love whenever you guys invite me down there, which isn't very often, obviously, but you guys were out there.
I'll be on the phone tomorrow. We try to space it out, Al.
I know.
We asked Sue Simmons to come again, and she said that she's so busy at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, she is kind of busy.
Now, tell me, what's Sue doing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Well, she's going through the stuff for Live at 5.
Going through the stuff?
Well, her interview notes, things like that.
All right. What does she do at 3:05?
He's so bad. Where's the rim shot?
Hey, just kidding, ladies and gentlemen. I kid because I love. But it's always good to talk to you, Al, and stay warm.
Okay, you got it.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Al. Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Hear that radio thing. Bye.
What a great guy.
Al, you got that radio voice, I'm telling you.
I know.
Goodbye.
I'll be taking Dan Taylor imitations.
Bye-bye, Al.
Bye, babe.
Bye. Bye.
Now let's talk about him.
Yeah. Well, Al Roker, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So when we come back,
Alan, what is the wind chill factor?
It feels like 4 below, according to Doug O'Brien.
Well, you have to go out and blow out on your hand, and then you know what it is. Yeah, that's it.
I still don't know what the hell a wind chill factor is.
What did he say?
Do you have any idea what it is? I still don't understand.
It's just the wind against your body.
Listeners can figure. Can you explain the wind chill factor? Apparently not, can you? Can you explain the wind chill factor?
The wind chill factor. Well, actually, I was going to tell you, remember yesterday when you asked who I slept with? Like,
What famous person you slept with?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Lassie.
I'm sure you have. All right, they're out there today. We'll take a break, and we'll come back. How cold is it? It's so cold, the icicles have icicles, ladies and gentlemen. But, hello, are we on? Is this on? All right, so how cold is it? And if we get one that's deserving of a rim shot, we will give you the brand new WNBC sweatshirts.
Yeah, they're really nice. Did you get
really? Yes, I slept in mine last night.
And how
they're
was
very smooth and warm. They're 50% cotton.
50?
Yeah.
And what's the other 50%?
We don't know. It does not grow anyplace, except in corners. We'll be back. 247-8666 on WNBC.
Like, where's the party, man?
What?
Some Olsen dude said I'd find a party here.
That's your FTD Flora?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you mean the new Celebrate bouquet?
Yeah.
Turns any occasion into a celebration.
Like a really awesome party or what?
Party with bright flowers and a colorful ceramic bowl.
But like, where's the band? You know, tunes?
The Celebrate bouquet also has a fun box filled with streamers, balloons, and tunes.
Hey, that Olsen dude really knows how to party. Ow!
Totally. The Celebrate bouquet. Ask your florist to send one FTD.
All right, so later we're very excited here at WNBC, just before we do Jane Gennaro. Well, I can't tell. I'll tell you why we're excited in just a second. Let me just say about Bob Thomas Ford. If you're a corporate executive livery operator, I've always wanted to operate a livery, haven't you?
I thought it was a livery.
And if you're one of those people who appreciate life's finest pleasures, Ultra Limousine of California, long acknowledged as the country's most prestigious builder of stretch limousines, is proud to announce the appointment of Bob Thomas Ford as their exclusive distributor for New York, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. Bob Thomas Ford, famous for Bergland, Taurusland, and a host of specialty cars, is now the exclusive distributor for Ultra Limousine. Is Bob going to change his name to Limoland? Well, not yet. But Bob does plan to sell limousines, lots of them. Would you like a 1988 white Lincoln, 113-inch super stretch? 113-inch, should it be feet? No, inch, I guess. Super stretch.
I think it's long enough for you.
113 inches sounds good to me. Seating for 9 adults with 2 TVs, moonroof, bar, and custom lighting. We should talk to our limo guy, Jim. Tell him to get the Bob Thomas Ford, huh?
I want 2 TVs.
At Bob Thomas Ford, there are 2 to choose from. Two of these kind of limos, 2 of these white Lincoln 113-foot super stretch limos.
Inch.
How about a 56-inch stretch, seating for 6 with all the amenities of corporate boardroom? It's in stock at Bob Thomas Ford. Remember, when you buy a new or used limousine from Bob Thomas Ford, you buy it from a dealership that services limousines 6 days a week, including Saturday, with service personnel that have been factory trained by Ultra Limousine in California. So if you need a limousine, go directly to Bob Thomas Ford in Hamden, Connecticut, 1/2 mile north of the Merritt Parkway, exit 60.
I love when you get into limousines. You sit in the back, and the first thing Alan does is he plays with every button.
I love buttons.
What does this thing do?
Oh, this ejects the driver. Well, all right, I'm very excited. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, on the show, Mr. Excitement, Lieutenant Governor Stan Lundeen. And Mr. Mr. Excitement, ladies and gentlemen. No one knew who he was yesterday when I asked who the Lieutenant Governor was. Well, who's the Lieutenant Governor? Oh, she's listening to the show now. It's changed. Nice change, Jane? Right.
Yes, thank you.
So our ratings went up because Jane's
But I
now
do
listening.
that for the new year.
All right, so, anyway, so you know Stan Lundeen will be here tomorrow, Mr. Politics. She's saying, Mario, run. So, he'll be here on tomorrow's show. Also, we have comedians Wayne Fetterman, who else? Barry Weintraub.
And the other guy.
And the other guy. They're at Stand Up New York. Who's the other guy?
He's going to be angry.
Steve Heitner.
Ah, Steve Heitner.
They're all very funny. And on Friday's show, Dennis Miller from Saturday Night Live. Yep.
We had to go outside NBC to get this guy as a guest.
We could, I saw Dennis at Catch a Rising Star 2 weeks ago.
And what did he say to you?
I said, Dennis, you want to come do this? He says, no.
He has changed
He's doing,
a lot
he's
since
doing,
he hit the big time.
But Caroline's at the Seaport. He's going to be at Caroline, so he'll do the show now.
Oh, if he has something to plug.
I mean, when I see him, he tells me no. But Peggy Reed could get. I couldn't get him, but Peggy Reed at Caroline's be able to get him.
But we have to supply a car.
Well, he's on the 17th floor.
No, we have to give him a car.
Oh. All right, what's the traffic with the WNBC Traffic and Transit Network report?
Well, outbound on the LIE, it's going to be slow from the VQ to the Tanks, and then from Queens Boulevard to Utopia because of a right lane accident there. And outbound on the Grand Central Parkway, it's going to be slow at LaGuardia, then again from Shea to Kew Gardens. Northbound on the FDR is very slow from the 60s to 116th Street, and then downtown it's from Houston Street to the construction zone over at the UN, which is around 41st Street. So it's too bad. Alternate side of the street parking regulations are going to be suspended in all 5 boroughs tomorrow because they're removing snow. And, NBC will announce your business closing this winter as we do the schools. So if you'd like to be included, well, Alan will do that. And if you'd like to be included in this business closing business, call 212-664-3441, and we'll take care of you.
Well,
They
let's
won't
not get
abuse
carried
you
away.
unless Ellen answers the phone.
Thank you. You know,
You're
babe,
welcome.
babe,
What,
babe, babe,
Yes, what,
babe,
Snooky?
babe, babe, babe.
Talk to me, Snooky, 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 honey, what?
Oh, I'm going to throw up right now, okay? Beautiful.
Anything to make you sigh, Roland.
Did you read in the newspaper today that they're going to come out with a pill for men for birth control?
I'll believe it when I see it.
It's 3 feet
It's
wide.
about time.
The birth control of the future, they won't change natural hormone production as birth control pills now do. The new contraceptives will probably be on the market by the late 1990s to the early 21st century. The newly discovered sex hormones, they just discovered new sex hormones? Yeah. By the way, let me just ask this gentleman, tomorrow, you always ask, what's your first name again? I'm sorry. Stanley. Your namesake, I'm really excited about this. Tomorrow, I know you like some of our guests. Stanley is the water guy who comes in and gives us water every day. Among his other duties here at NBC, Stan Lundy, Lieutenant Governor, will be here tomorrow. I can hardly wait to see him. You can hardly wait. Do you hear that?
Stan gets very enthusiastic.
Stan is very emotional about this.
If he smiles slightly, it's thrills.
All right, so before we... And he left. He just left.
Well, he can't take too much excitement.
Anyway.
Preparing tomorrow's water for him.
The guy comes in and pours water for us every day. It's beautiful. It's a union job. Anyway, the new contraceptives in the stores by the late 90s, early 21st century. So I'm going to hold off on sex, I think, until these things are available. I may not have a choice. Newly discovered sex hormones will make these birth control pills possible. The hormones called non-steroidal gonadal factors.
Gonadal?
Oh, gee, I forgot to take my non-steroidal gonadal factors today.
Just pop those gonadals.
Gonadal.
I knew you'd get that.
Non-steroidal gonadal.
Go, gonadal, go.
If you don't shut up, Dale Parsons coming here with a jingle with us.
Don't treat Roland that way.
He's talking to you, Jim.
Oh, he is Roland?
Anyway, these hormones occur naturally in the reproductive organs of both men and women, regulating the formation of eggs and sperm.
What is this, the share height returns?
You know, I want to tell you something. When Cher Hyde was here, and I kind of fell in love with her. I had a little crush on Cher Hyde. I felt the sexual tension in the room, and I wasn't even here. And I was going to call her babe, but I was a little afraid of her. But, in fact, I did call her babe, didn't I? It's kind of a joke. And she punched me out. But anyway, when she was here, she gave the most eloquent scientific academic explanation.
It was also a major turnoff. It was so scientific.
Of male excitement that I'd ever heard. How men get erections and how that's all done. She just went on for 10 minutes about what happens physiologically, and I'd never heard it put so beautifully.
You think it was beautiful? I thought men would stop having them after they heard how they really happened.
Poor you were so deferential when she was here, Jane. And
I liked her a lot, but I did have a hard time listening to all the biology lesson thing going on.
You had to see the slides she was showing. They were really
no wonder
disgusting.
Alan liked it.
No, actually, she was in fact inducing one in me just to show me step by step how. Never mind. Anyway, it was a great moment on the radio. Thank you very much, Jane. But there will be male contraceptives, and I think that's a reason to go on living.
I hope you'll use them. And not make Natalie have to be the one responsible.
I can't even talk about who I might be with in the late 90s.
You can't? Well, you better tell Natalie. I think
we don't plan that far ahead, babe. I don't even know who I'm going to be with in 6 months.
You went to the family dinner for Christmas, and you don't know.
It only lasts until the next Christmas. I'm sorry. Alan keeps a 3-day plan. Yeah. I've got my plan ahead calendar going into the 21st of this month. So, you can't talk about it. Can you tell me now you're going to be with your husband in the late 1990s?
Definitely.
Come on.
I can't
Can you tell me you're going to be with Debbie? Can you tell me you're going to be with Debbie in the 1990s? If I didn't say yes, she'd kill me. See?
So that's why you should be married, because then you know what's happening.
Then I'd have to say yes or I'd be killed. But since we're living together, I can say whatever I want.
Jane. I hope to be with Jane in the 19th century.
Really?
Yeah, the 19th century.
I want to go back in time with Jane.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Much better 100 years ago.
That's what I heard. Yeah, you fermented so soon. Right, how cold is it? And then this is the first edition WNBC sweatshirt. Boy, are we thrilled to give this away. Maybe we'll want to the Lieutenant Governor tomorrow, huh? These are great gifts. Stan Lundy.
We're never going to get Cuomo and keep this up.
Oh, Mary will do the show. Mary heard we had the vice president. That impressed him, didn't it?
The vice president of, Victor Kayam impressed.
Let me tell you something. Stan Lundy is the George Bush of New York. Well, maybe that's not a good way to put it. Let's go to the phones for
How cold is it? WNBC. Yes, sir. So cold outside. How cold is it, sir?
So cold outside that the dogs are sticking to the sidewalks.
All right, nice try, thank you. You have to win a rim shot. WNBC.
You forgot to ask Salvo about that winter storm warning in effect today.
I don't like your voice. WNBC. That guy always calls me and bugs me. Hello.
Alan, it's so cold out, the street hookers are insisting on foreplay.
That's pretty good. Yeah, we like that. Okay, we're to give you...
You realize anything with hookers wins.
Yeah, we're to give you a first edition WNBC sweatshirt.
Sounds great.
Hold on. How cold is it?
So cold that even watching Morton Downey would put a warm feeling in your stomach.
You win. Okay, hold on. How cold is it?
Well, first of all, relating to the weather, the wind chill factor, I have a way to straighten out that whole problem.
Yeah.
It's not the inventor of the wind chill factor, Paul Winchell.
Never mind, I'm giving you one anyway, just for that. Hold on. You're out of t-shirts. WNBC, hello.
Yeah, I'd like to say how cold it is.
How cold is it?
It's so cold I thought my pajamas broke.
If you were sleeping outside, that would make sense, and of course, if you were wetting yourself while you were sleeping. Now, WNBC, which will tell you how
So I know you have to figure out the wind chill?
how?
By multiplying the wind by 2 and subtracting from the temperature, you get the approximate wind chill.
Multiply the velocity of the wind by 2, subtracting it by the from the temperature.
Over 0 degrees, it's 20. If the wind's 20 miles per hour, times 2 is 40, so it's 40 below.
Okay. All right. Okay. WNBC.
Hey, it's so cold out. You know, we talked about slippers and I didn't even mind.
I don't think that would be possible with you. WNBC.
Alan, I know the wind chill. It's when you stand up here when you pass gas, it goes up your nose.
WNBC.
Yes, it's so cold out there. When a bum spits on the sidewalk, you can hear it clunk.
Cute. But no, WNBC.
It's so cold, every time we talk, we have to pick up our words.
Have to what?
Pick up our words.
Pick up our words. I don't get it. If you said see the words, that would be a little better, but still not good enough. WNBC.
So cold your nose froze.
Another person on hold gets a sweatshirt. WNBC.
Alan, it's so cold outside that you have to have Stanley Lundeen on the show tomorrow.
No, I'll tell you something. People should meet and greet their lieutenant governor, sir.
Excuse me?
I think you should know your lieutenant governor.
I know who my two lieutenant governor is.
Who?
Stanley Lundeen?
Well, but I think you should get to know the man.
Oh, please, I don't want to know.
You don't want to know Stanley Lundeen?
No.
He could very well be the governor when Mario becomes president.
Mario's not going to be president. Stanley's still lieutenant governor. He's going to be there one more term, and that's it.
Oh, this man, what are you, Kreskin?
I know.
How do you know, sir?
My mother told me.
Yeah. WNBC.
It's so cold, you have to stay in the freezer to warm up.
WNBC.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
It's so cold.
It's so cold. You want to know how cold it is?
How cold is it?
It's so cold that Madonna had to wear 2 G-strings.
Nice try. WNBC.
Hi, Alan. You want to know how cold it is?
Yeah.
It's so cold that the pizza place around the corner on their pizza, they're using winter weight oil.
Close. Almost. WNBC.
Yeah, it's so cold out. Channel 11 is showing you out tonight.
WNBC.
You want to know how cold it is?
How cold is it?
So cold I went down my house this morning and found my door closed on the door.
WNBC. Hello.
Yes, Alan, I know how to get the wind chill. You multiply the angle of the dangle.
WNBC.
Yeah, it's cold enough that my cat is sticking to the freezer.
WNBC.
Hi.
Oh, I didn't mention I should be funny. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, so cold, John Doran for long pants this morning.
No, that's not funny. That's an inside joke. I must wear shorts every day to work. Only in the winter. And these aren't legs you want to see, ladies and gentlemen. WNBC.
Yeah, it's so cold my old flesh beginning to look good.
Thank you. WNBC.
Colin, it's so cold and
WNBC.
It's so cold that your cat plants are higher than the temperature.
She won one. She's got it now. WNBC.
It's so cold we have to huddle around your heart to stay warm.
You insulting me, sir?
No, I'm trying to get it started.
WNBC.
Speaking of cold, how are your ratings?
Good, thank you. WNBC.
It's so cold my goosebumps flew south for the winter.
WNBC.
It's so cold Reverend Al chopped his hair curled.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah, we'll give you that.
All right.
All right, hold on. WNBC.
Alan, it's so cold that I would even create body heat with Elmo.
Yeah. WNBC.
Yeah, Alan, it's so cold that I was walking to work this morning and I spit and put a lady's eye out.
WNBC. Beautiful imagery. Enjoy your meals. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's so cold that stop.
WNBC.
Alan, it's so cold they're chopping dogs away from fire hydrants.
Yeah, we went similar to that just a few minutes ago. WNBC. WNBC.
Oh, Cousin Al?
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys say it's so cold I can't believe it. Like, that's
I think Reverend Al has a nice ring to it.
You know, with all Cousin Brucie, the cousin thing worked in the 60s. I should come up with some kind of a hook. Maybe that's it. I've never had a hook.
Get a hook. A real hook.
Yeah, I've never had a hook. Reverend Al, Father Al, I don't know. Not Uncle Al, Cousin Al, Brother Al,
Führer Al.
No. Well, maybe somebody come with a hook. No, I think Alan Colmes, that's enough of a hook, huh?
Alan Colmes, what was your name really?
Sorry, I mentioned Stanley Lundeen with the on tomorrow show. Who? The Lieutenant Governor.
What is his middle name?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know. You know who Stanley Lundeen is?
Yeah.
Who is he?
The Lieutenant Governor.
Well,
Wait, I got a cold joke.
what?
I got a cold joke.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, can I do it?
Yeah.
Thanks. I knew it was so cold because my dog was just standing there when I was walking when I kicked him, he shattered.
These people are animal haters.
Yeah.
Animal haters. WNBC.
Yes, it's so cold that even the corpses from
WNBC.
It's so cold that even Bob Grant's hot air froze.
WNBC.
So cold that the grease in Reverend Al Sharpton's hair froze.
Well, we just did an Al Sharpton one. WNBC.
Where are you?
WNBC.
It's so cold that the world is spinning fast. So cold.
I don't understand
What is
that.
it with these people?
WNBC.
It's so cold Soupy Sale stopped stuttering.
WNBC.
Yes, it's so cold that Ronald Reagan's IQ is higher than the temperature. That's good. Come on.
Work on it a little.
Yeah, it's so
Embellish.
cold even his bit seems hot.
That could be. WNBC.
Are you still doing the cold thing?
Yeah. WNBC.
Yes, it's so cold that the statue of Prometheus in Rockefeller Center is wearing a pair of Al Roker's old thermal underwear.
That was a long way.
Too long, I couldn't.
Yeah.
WNBC.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
I have a
Yeah, what is it?
so cold joke.
Yeah, what is it?
What?
Yeah, what is it? Listen to your radio, not to me, okay?
This sure sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to your radio, not to me, okay? Because we're live on the radio, but I'm on delay talking to you on the phone, all right?
Is this Alan?
Yeah, listen to your radio, not to me, okay?
Oh, Alan, listen.
Yeah.
I have an so cold.
Yeah, get to it. What is it?
It's so cold that the snowman out in the yard came into the house.
Genius. WNBC.
Yeah, Alan, I shut my radio to make the call. I don't know if you're still doing the one-liners on cold.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it's so hot outside, it's sweating from my nose.
WNBC. Yeah, I'm still doing the jokes. Do not call the next week, I'm still doing the jokes.
There were about 4 jokes out of all these calls that we had.
Yeah. They were good at the beginning.
Yeah, the first 4.
I'm just going to do this for another minute or so, and then I've had enough of these. Yeah. Let's get back to birth control.
What was the name of that pill?
The
go-go
This is the non-steroidal gonadal factors. Ooh. And because of that discovery, they'll be able to have a male birth control.
In a little pink pill.
They won't be like the pills we have now.